Okay.
Hi, good morning. My name's Clive Auckram, and when I was a young man, I became a missionary builder, and I was sent by the Bishop Stuyvenberg to a very outpost place at the bottom of Malaita Island called Tarapaina, where I was to completely rebuild all the houses because they were made of old American ply and bush leaf from a sago tree. So while I was there, I got some local boys became my helpers, and I was teaching them how to do building the New Zealand way. And so as we built each building, we would then pull it down and replace it with a more permanent structure. Now, one day my head carpenter came to me and said, "Ara'iasi's very cold." I said, "Oh, Ara'iasi," because I had heard the name mentioned. So I said, in my toolbox, I had wrapped my steel planes in an old army coat so they wouldn't clash together and maybe break during transportation. So I got this out and I said to Jacob, "Go and take this to Ara'iasi, and that might keep him warm." Now, he was quite a feared person. He was like a contracting killer. If you lived in a village and somebody did something evil to you, you contacted Ara'iasi, told him what the problem was. He would go along, kill the man, and he would take it one tooth. There's the teeth there. He would take one tooth from the man's head after he'd smashed it in and put it on this necklace. So he was very pleased to get this coat, and he sent this necklace down with my carpenter Jacob and said, "Give this to Clive." So I've always kept it. Ara'iasi was a great man in his time, but he was known as the contract killer. And even though he was dying, people were still afraid of him, and they tried to force feed him. But eventually that didn't work and he died. But I never went to his funeral because it was way up in the bush somewhere. And it's always a bit hard to travel in the Solomons by walking or anything like boat because it's so blooming hot. So we just carried on with our building, and eventually I rebuilt everything. I even built toilets out in the sea with a little walkway to get to them. And one toilet would be for women, females, and along the beach, a long way away, there would be a toilet for males. Men and women never mixed in public. We had a wedding once, and in the church, which was a bit rare, and Father had a hard time getting them to hold hands briefly while he said the words. And then they separated, and I said to Jacob, "What do they do now? They're married." He said, "Oh, maybe in a couple of weeks' time, this little girl will take her little treasures, what she owns, and go to his village and stay with him." And I thought, well, it's It's not like it is in New Zealand. Their customs are so different. They would get together if young people wanted to get married. The families would get together and they'd talk about that and the bride price. They had a bride price. Now the bride price was money, or this is money, Solomon Islands money. It's made of shell, very valuable to them. They would then talk about how many strings of money she'd be worth. Now the only problem that was arising, and that was for the children that she would produce. That's why they were buying her. Now the trouble comes when she doesn't produce any children. People want their money back and their pigs. So it was quite an interesting look at what happens in these places. There didn't see many Europeans. The odd government guy would call in to Tarapaina. He would be on a government boat, which weren't that many, and he'd call in just to see if we were still alive, I think. Yeah.
Did you ever meet Ari'iasi?
Yeah, I only met him once.
Oh yeah.
And while he was still walking, he could walk along. Skinny legs.
Yeah.
They have quite big shoulders, because mostly they don't walk, they get in their canoes and they paddle. So the upper body, the muscles get big and the legs get skinny.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But he didn't know any pidgin English or English, and we had to talk to him through Jacob. He didn't stay long, he'd been to the little clinic what we had there to get some medicine or something, and then he went up the hill and disappeared into the woods, and I never saw him again. But I've always treasured this necklace. It's an amazing thing. Yeah.
Okay, we'll stop there, eh?
Yeah.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.